You'll be very creeped out. We filmed the movie last year, and I saw it about a month ago, and I was so uncomfortable watching it the entire time.
Wow.
And I called my publicist Gary afterwards, and I said, I don't know who's going to be like creeped out more, the people who watched it when I was a kid or the people who watch it now.
What are you looking at? See what time I have to get to make varsity. 7:59 seems doable. I mean, starting varsity in 2 sports in high school.
You're like the best novice out of all of us. Yeah, I mean, like, you're like the best novice. I mean, you're like the best novice out of all of us. The best novice.
You're natural. You're natural. You're natural.
Probably have the best chance out of all of us.
Why would you put yourself through this? I'm kind of curious. Why would you like, so it's a lot of it. It's life imitating art, but why would you put yourself through this for this role? What about it struck to you that made you want to do all these things, literally physically and mentally put yourself through it?
I'm a very ambitious person, and I've always really had a lot of, grit and determination, and reading the script made me feel really seen and understood in a way that I hadn't ever experienced reading a script. I mean, it really flips this sort of obsessive genre on its head in the way that you're not, watching someone who's being pushed by external circumstances and have this drive to achieve a goal. You're watching someone who is their own enemy and their own hero. And you live inside this character's head. And so for myself, like, this role is like a once in a lifetime opportunity to play a role like this. You never read scripts like this in Hollywood. They're usually like, given to people who, like Meryl Streep's and that sort of thing. And to have this like come across my email, I was like floored, and I knew that I had to play this role. Like, this was the role for me. And that's what it takes when you really love something and you it's like the coolest thing ever. And, you're like me and really passionate about something, you give your all to it. I'm one of those people that since I was really little, I'm like all in or I'm nothing. And so I went all in for this, and it was a no-brainer for me.
Clearly it shows watching it. It's funny that this is about rowing, because like when I go to the gym, I actually had this discussion a few days ago with someone about the gym, and we were talking about the rowing machine. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the thing I do last because it's the easiest thing. And they're like, what? That's the easiest for? I'm like, yeah, it's like that's like my finished kind of cooling off workout at the end of everything. Clearly I've been doing this wrong, watching what you've been doing, the way you were sweating and just draining. I don't know what I'm doing wrong with. I always max it out, but I do like 10 minutes straight, but clearly I've been doing it wrong, because this is not supposed to be an easy workout, right?
No, I mean, it's a full body workout. I mean, it's different than any of the other sports that I've done. I mean, I'm very clumsy. I'm not very coordinated. So running has always been my like sport of choice, because it's the same thing over and over. And when I first got this role, Lauren like rolled her erg machine out from her garage onto her grassy front yard in Glendale and sat me down on it and was telling me all the things that I was doing wrong. And I was shocked, because I've used an erg machine at a gym like you, and I didn't realize that I've been using it wrong the whole time. I mean, it's a full body workout. You work everything from your legs to your glutes to your, abs to your arms. I mean, it really was. And I realized very quickly that I had been doing it wrong, because when I did my first 2K just to see where I was at before we started, like as we started the training process 6 weeks before we started filming, I remember like my vision tunneling in, like you see in the script, and then like you see in the movie. I remember my legs feeling like bricks. I remember feeling like I literally was going to puke or pee myself or something. And I was just like, wow, this is very different than how I thought it was. and I think that it really made me feel even more excited about this project.
Yeah, well, it's just unbelievable how it's like now I have it in my head. It's like legs, body, arms, right? Arms, body, legs. Like this is what I'm going to be now and have embedded every time I'm going to be doing this machine. Yeah. But it's unbelievable. Did it motivate you going through this like grueling process of working out for this film? Did you kind of take that on now, maybe going forward as you're going to be in this sort of shape, or at least strive to that? Or now it's like relaxing and snacking time after all that?
It's funny. Like I trained for 6 hours a day. I was rowing for this movie. for the 6 weeks before we started filming. And I was also working out 4 times a week with a trainer to gain the muscle that I needed to gain for this role. And when we were filming, I would wake up before we started shooting for the day, and I would go to the tank, or I would go rowing on the water. I would go to the gym for an hour, and then I would do the same at the end of the workday. And so I really was like in the best shape that I've ever been in my life. I mean, I gained 12 pounds of muscle. I was smaller than I'd ever been. Like, all of my clothes were just like swimming on me. And it was funny because when I wrapped, I was like, I'm going to keep these abs. I was like, this is really cool. Like, I've never, but when you're not working out 6 hours a day, your body completely changes. It just made me feel like so much more understanding of like why personal trainers always look like they're in such good shape. And I've always looked at them and been like, so annoying. And you realize it's like, it's their job. Like, for this movie, my job was to fall in love with the sport and to row every day and to develop this like physicality. But me as Isabelle, like, I'm in really good shape, but I am not like built like I was when I played this role. And when I played this role, I mean, I was jacked. It was a very interesting place to be in, to look in the mirror and be like, I don't even recognize my body anymore. Yeah.
Yep. That's what we strive for. But yeah, I guess maintaining is a whole other thing.
And also COVID, I mean, like, there was no chance in hell. I mean, I remember when everything shut down, I was like, well, if I wasn't going to be able to keep my abs then, I mean, definitely not now.
Right. Yep. Hey, it's all good. At least you have it on video, right? To prove that you did it at one point.
Yeah, I can show my kids when I'm older. I can be like, look how cool your mom was. You see how good shape she was in? Yeah.
There you go. So I got to ask you, like about 10 years ago, so I was so creeped out by you in Orphan, and 10 years later, I'm like crushing on you. What's going to happen next year when you're going to reprise the role? Am I going to be creeped out again by you, or I'm going to still be crushing at you? That's so crazy. It's coming full circle.
You'll be very creeped out. We filmed the movie last year, and I saw it about a month ago, and I was so uncomfortable watching it the entire time. And I called my publicist Gary afterwards, and I said, I don't know who's going to be like creeped out more, the people who watched it when I was a kid or the people who watch it now. Like what is going to be the creepier version? Because the secret, and we played with that in this movie. And so the entire time you're like very aware that Esther is a grown-up, and it's really, really creepy. So I'm very excited for people to see it and to experience the level of like horror and discomfort that I did watching it. It's fantastic. And William Brent Bell did an amazing job. And Julia Stiles is just like a freaking dream. Just amazing.
That's cool in itself, right? Getting to work with her.
I know, it was like my teenage self was literally crying. I was really cool on the outside, and I know that, but I did a good job like playing it cool, but like on the inside every single day I was like, oh my God, I was like, it's Julia Stiles. I like couldn't handle it.
The fangirl in you came out, but that's kind of cool. You've been doing good work in your career when you get to work with someone like that alongside, right? I mean, you've done something good then.
Yeah, and when you watch, like, I grew up watching her in movies. Like, she was like the movies that I watched all throughout my teenagehood, like 10 Things I Hate About You and Save the Last Dance. And you see her in person, and she's just as cool as she is in the movies. And it's like, oh, it's like, this is amazing. It really is. It really is.
That's cool. I got to ask you, many of us have been following your career since you've been a child. Now you're all grown up, and it's like, we're talking about coming full circle, but what sort of things you like to do for fun, like outside of acting? Because that's been, like you said, kind of like your own obsession, something you've done in your life. Is there some things you like to just get away to when you're not working, like hobbies, interests, things you just like completely different away from the industry?
I love running. I really, really love running.
Does anyone really love running though? I mean, that's yeah.
It's a great way for me to clear my head. I mean, I love running, but I also really love the feeling afterwards where you feel like your lungs have like grown tenfold. Another thing I really love to do in my free time, I paint. And I play guitar, but mainly just for myself. I sing and I write. I've written a couple of scripts and TV shows and things like that. And I'm have my own production company, and I'm working on getting my own projects off the ground. So I have a lot of other things that I really like to do. I'm also a big dog lover. I love going walking and just saying hi to other people's dogs.
Do you have a dog or just like randomly going to greet other people's dogs?
I used to. My love of my life, my dog Jennings actually passed away, like I would say a month or two ago. And
oh, that's so sad.
you know, and I just don't, you know, like a really bad breakup. He was like the love of my life. I can't get another dog right now. I can't even imagine like loving someone else. So, you know,
take your time. Yeah, no, it's a loss. I totally understand. I've been there. You know, it's something that you need to make peace with. And when you're ready, you're going to be ready.
Yeah. But I right now I'm enjoying going walking and saying hi to other people's dogs. It's like really nice. Cause also I'm for the first time, I've actually lived every single day of my life with a pet dog. And this is the first time in my life I haven't had a dog since I was born. My parents had a dog before I was born, always had a dog. And it's funny not to have the responsibility to like walk a dog, feed a dog, any of that stuff. You know, I realize I have like a lot more time for myself right now. And it's very weird.
Well, you'll be back there again. So, you know, at some point. So, well, listen, it's been so cool to finally catch up with you. Like I said, I've been watching you for years, and from you're a kid, now you're all grown up. You know, I had that same moment with Peter Billingsley when I met him. I'm like, wait, you're not a kid. You're not Ralphie anymore. You know,
No.
But it's so cool to see you going forward and just creating and doing stuff, and can't wait for the movie. But this was an awesome performance, and you really put into work, and it shows. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you soon. Hopefully on the next one, we'll catch up.
Yes, definitely.
Have a great holiday. Bye,
okay,
Isabelle.
have a good holiday.
Bye-bye.